some small tips, some advices, my opinion, let us say, this kind of stuff. It's general conversation. It's not a conversation actually because I'm talking to myself, but whoever wants, he can place a comment. There is no problem. I'm doing it now because I'm gonna forget it, and because there is nobody here at the garage. I'm alone, and it's a little bit quieter than usual. Early morning, it is more quiet. So it's gonna be general. It's not gonna be only for Mercedes. All right. Some people, they are asking about the engine timing. All right. If let us say it's not aligned the marks, or if you're not sure about the timing, the wheels, there is the opening and closes of the valves, intake and exhaust. You can get one wheel degree. You can mount it on the damper pulley, and you can double check that when it's opening the intake valve, when it closes, and the same thing for the exhaust. To double check. Keep in mind that on the Mercedes, because of the timing chain, you have plus minus 5 degrees, 5 crank degrees, not cam degrees. Camshaft up, 2 degrees, let us say, on the camshaft, it's 4 degrees on the crank. 2-to-1 ratio, 4-stroke engine. Alright, classic. So that's what I have to say about the timing. Because some people, they are facing some problems, get one wheel degree, double check again, check from WIS for your specific engine, and see the events, when it's opening and when it's closing the valves. So that's one thing. Second thing, I'm saying again, it's a general regarding the cylinder heads, all right, and the protection cap that's coming with the seals, all right. Like I said before, what I'm doing, I'm gonna put it all together. Maybe it's gonna help somebody. Maybe we're gonna answer in some questions, because it's not only the comments on YouTube. I have also private messages, and some people, they found also my number. Go figure out. Then what I'm doing, that's the driver's side cylinder head. That's the driver's side. Yes, that's the driver's side cylinder head. All right, bank 2. What I'm doing with the valve seals, first of all, like the M157, the M177 has different exhaust than intake valve seals. Has a double seal on the exhaust, that means has double membrane inside, single membrane on the intake. All right. I have said before that on the performance application, because you're not gonna keep 1 bar of boost, you're gonna reach, let us say, a 2 bar of boost. It's clever, let us say, to put double seal on the exhaust and on the intake. It fits. It doesn't have any problem. It's not interfering with the valve springs. All right. What I'm doing, I'm opening the nylon bag that has the seals inside. I'm separating 16 and 16, 8 exhaust, 8 intake, and the same thing for the other bank. I'm measuring it. Why? Sometimes I have find one less, sometimes I have find one more inside the bag. And then you scratch your head where you didn't put the seal. You're double checking before you put the spring. You put all the seals. When you put all the seals, there's no problem. You can move the cylinder head. It's not gonna fall off the valves. It bites. It's holding it there. Even with the lubrication that I'm putting, it's still staying there, let us say. Okay, don't push it. It's gonna go out. But to move it, it's fine. Like I said, you're separating it, you're measuring, you're counting actually the valve seals, how much you have to be okay. I have the safe here, intake, exhaust, the same thing also with the valve springs. That's how I'm separating, and I'm starting installing it. Not a big deal. The protection boot, it's to pass the seal, to don't hurt it. A little bit of oil, I'm sinking inside, I'm getting with this, I don't remember how it's called this in English, I'm putting it in place. And the special tool. Alright, finish with this. Like I said, I'm gonna say whatever I remember. I might not remember everything. Regarding the cylinder head, regarding the transmissions, whatever you're gonna try to fix, whatever you're gonna try to repair, whatever you're gonna try to assemble it, to put it together, first you need to know, at least for me, you need to understand how it's working, why it's at this position, what is gonna happen, why, let us say, example, you see these balls here, this is a blockage path for the oil galleries, for the lifters, alright? And there is, let us say, another one here, then you can see another one here back, then you can see another one back here, it's more inside. There is a reason why it's at this position. And sometimes if you press it more in, let us say, you're gonna block another path. This path, let us say, this path, it meets this oil gallery. This one. So if I press more inside this ball, I'm gonna block this path here. If I keep it more out, it might lose, it might went away, let us say, with the heat cycles or whatever. So this was an example. Again, That was an example. For me, it's gonna be much better if there was bolt that you're gonna be able to unbolt it and make 110% sure that the oil galleries are excellent, are perfect clean. Because like this, you already know that there is a possibility, small possibility, but there is a possibility to have something inside. You can put the camera, you can see with the side camera here, you can see here, you actually, on this, you can even see the ball there. I'm talking about this one, how much deep it comes. If you press it more in, you're gonna block the oil gallery. Or maybe you're gonna crack the cylinder head because you're gonna have a weak point here. That's the solid point here, and this is a weak point. Now, some friends, some other people, they comment regarding the Daza. 1 second. Yeah, I washed the engine, I don't want to uncover it, but okay, it's not gonna be for long, right? Yeah, so for the Daza and for this specific plug, let us say, or the plug that's next to it, if you see, let us say, this one, there is another one oil gallery that comes down. So I cannot put the rivet more inside for the same reason, because I'm gonna block the passage from where it's passing the oil, and it's gonna be much more thin, let us say. You're not gonna have material around to be able to crimp it. It might crack, it might not seal properly. You have to be square, that means you have to be straight. You cannot be like this. You're not gonna seal, obviously. If you pay attention on this oil gallery, this is for the cooling jets. This they drill it like this for the cooling jets and continue down, alright? So, except of the cooling jets, there is also this that goes like that up here. If you watch through this, you don't see the rivet. I don't know if you can tell, if you can see through the camera, but you cannot see the rivet inside. Maybe there you can see. No, okay. Anyhow, you cannot see the rivet there. Why? Because I put it on the proper depth. If I put it a little bit more inside, again, it might crack the block from inside, and I'm never gonna know, or I'm gonna block the passage, or I'm not gonna be crimped properly, because we're not gonna have the support all around. So, what's my reference? Before I crimp it, even when I get the measurement from here, I was just thinking that, you know, why to don't be flush, example, and to be more in. It makes sense, because when it's expanding this one, it bites more. So here it's the 12 millimeters. Inside, when it's being crimped, it pushes more. So it's much more difficult to come out. Makes sense. So that's what I'm saying when I'm saying, especially to the mechanics, especially to professionals, think before you do anything. It's much better, because it's not, maybe you're gonna find another application in different engine. Maybe you're gonna find something similar somewhere else. At least you know what to look for. Let us say the 400 millimeter that's supposed to be, the 410 of millimeter that's supposed to be inside. I measured it from there, and yes, it makes sense to be 410 of millimeter more in than the surface. It makes sense for the reasons that I explained, right? And the same thing also for the rest. You have to pay attention about that. If it was your engine and you don't care, let us say, do whatever you want. Don't put it at all and leave the oil press it comes out, let us say, or weld it, let us say, or tap it. But when you're talking about a customer, an owner, that he send you the engine, let us say, to build it, to fix it, to repair it, or the transmission or whatever, you have to do your best, the 110%, and to do what he is asking. I said before that I can tap it, let us say, and put an Allen bolt here, alright, on the correct depth, on the correct dimensions, everything right, to don't block anything. But the customer, he wants to put the original one, and that's okay, this is fine with me. Whatever he wants, it's his engine, it's his block, you know. And now for the end, to close the video, because I have to continue to put the seals in place, mount the springs, and finalize the cylinder head. Like I said before, the old parts that I'm removing from the transmission, from the engine, from anything, it belongs to the customer. It's his property, it's not my property. These are, let us say, the parts for the transmission. Whatever I'm changing, the seals, everything, I'm putting in a box, and then belongs to the customer. He wants to take it, let him take it. He wants to leave it here, he will leave it here, no problem. It's not my property, it's not my decision. Let us say, if I want to check something out of a part that I'm gonna remove from an engine, I have to get the permission from the customer. can I open it, let us say, to see what it failed, for example, or you don't want me to touch it, for example? Because sometimes, let us say, to open something, you might break something. Example, all right? So this is well known. What I'm doing years now, it's not something new. Actually, I'm following this rule in all of my life. That's what I believe that's fair, all right? But that's me. Some people, they have a different opinion, all right? So, for example, I had a conversation in Greece regarding the batteries, and one guy jumped. He said that to get the customer to get the old battery back, his old battery back, he has to pay the taxes for the recycling. That the taxes for the recycling, it's on the invoice when you purchase the battery. That means you already pay when you bought the battery, the recycling, the taxes for the recycling, let us say in Greece. And that guy, he was saying to me that, you know what, no, the customer, he has to pay again recycling fees, taxes, to get back his battery. Anyhow, this is some people that are working like that, and it's their, it's different from the managers, different from the people that try to make only money, and different than the people that are trying to do the right thing. That's what I believe. I might be wrong. Once again, I'm not saying that that's a rule. That's a rule for me, not for everybody else. And the last thing, because I see there are so many subscribers, there are so many people that are subscribing on the channel. I have mentioned that before. When I'm fixing, let us say, one engine, it makes sense, the customer, the owner, to see what it takes, let us say, to fix the engine or the transmission, to watch the video, to understand what's going on, because maybe he does have the chance to be here, maybe he doesn't want to be here, maybe whatever, all right? So it's much more clear for him to see through a video what's happening. He is welcome, even like what I explained to yesterday to another one customer, one friend of mine. I cannot let him enter inside of the engine room, because there's none of these things belongs to him. I cannot let anybody comes inside. If, let us say, it was your transmission and you want to see what's going on, you can get a chair, stay over there in the corner and watch everything. And at the end, I can explain to you everything. It's gonna be also better for me, because I don't have to make a video. That's a good one. It's not bad. So, for the subscribers, don't waste your time. If you find something helpful, then yes, okay, I'm happy. But the most of them, the checkups and all these things, it's for the customers, for the owners, to see how the condition of his car, of the engine, or transmission, or whatever. I mentioned that before. It doesn't matter if you like or if you dislike. Do whatever you want. You're not gonna change anything. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just, like I said in the past 100 times, maybe more, YouTube is my library. Just I'm keeping it public, the videos. That's the difference. I have so many unlisted also, because some customers that don't want to make it public video. They want to have it unlisted. I understand, and that's how it is, and this is how it's gonna stay. So that's what I have to say. I have to stop talking now and continue working. And I'm still waiting the stupid parts for the transmission. The two clutches for the 72.6 and the bell housing and the planetary gear for the 72.9. I need the adapter for the DASA, but I fixed it for the blockage. Yeah. Alright, so I hope that I didn't waste your time. And I answered a couple of questions, maybe not all of them, not even the 1% from the questions that you have asked me. But it is what it is. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Today, I don't know if I mentioned the date, it's Wednesday, 31st of August, 2022. Thank you. Shit, you see, I forget two things. Two things that are important things, for me at least. The title of the video is going to be trying to answer some comments, some questions, let us say. Trying to answer because of my accent, like I've said before, that some people, they don't understand my accent or my English, or they're not correct. It is what it is. I'm sorry. Don't watch the videos. I have mentioned that before. If you don't understand something, why you're keeping watching it? Second thing, in some engines or in some transmissions, it's not always my setup. What I mean by that? If they decide, let us say, to send it to CNC, to port the cylinder heads, or if they decide to use this piston or that piston, example, it's not my call. Me, I'm gonna give my advice. I'm gonna get some measurements. I'm gonna give, like I said, I'm gonna give my opinion. I'm not insisting. The final call, it's from the owner or from the office. It depends. If they said to me, for this engine, port the hell out of the ports, let us say, make it huge. I'm gonna set up the machine shop on the CNC. I'm gonna tell them make it huge, make it, let us say, to don't have a wall at all, to be 1 millimeter thickness only in the wall. Example, all right? If they said to me, put a piston and before you put it, hammer it on top, well, that's what I'm gonna do. That's my job, right? Because maybe we're gonna have more volume. I'm just joking with the piston, all right? I'm just saying, all right? So, or if, let us say, you said to me, don't put these valve springs and put the valve springs from a pen, you know, that's what I'm gonna put. It's up to the owner, up to the, or the tuner sometimes. It depends what they're gonna ask me. Me, I'm gonna say my opinion, I'm gonna give my opinion, but it's not my call, all right? Same thing also with MO77. It's not my setup. I'm following instructions, what to use, and that's it. That's what I'm using, let us say, and make sure that they're gonna mount it properly, they're gonna build up the valves, they're gonna be everything correct on specs, and that's it. You have seen before that I have asked, let us say, how much you want me to make the pistonic gap? That much? Okay, that's it. How much you want, let us say, piston to cylinder wall? That much. This is how much it is right now, let us say. Is it fine with you? Yes, go ahead. Example. How much you want me to torque down the head bolts, the studs, let us say, it has? That much. This kind of stuff. So sometimes, let us say, I have different opinion. Sometimes I'm saying, yes, that's what I'm gonna do, even if it was my engine. It is what it is, right? Now that's the end. Thank you.